Principals United podcast. Bec, my favorite business bestie, how are you today?
I'm super awesome, excited to be recording with you. Getting into term 2 in New South Wales. Good times.
All the things happening,
All the
right? Are
things.
you working towards mid-year concert at the studio?
Sure am. So we're working towards all our mid-year concerts. We have quite a few because we've got a lot of preschoolers.
Yep.
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Amazing. So good. Hey, today we're here to talk about the proactive versus the reactive tasks that we do as studio owners, as the CEO in our companies, because this is something that came up a lot on my one-on-ones this week with different Studio Growth Club members. So I thought we'd kind of jam about it today.
I love this so much because I used to be so reactive in my business, Amanda. And, I'm not going to say I'm not now. I still
Absolutely.
have to catch myself all the time. But I used to be so reactive. It was crazy. And when you really change that around, I think it's such a game changer for any business owner.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start by like defining what is the proactive task and what is a reactive. So
Mm.
a reactive to start with tasks are things that you have to do no matter what to run your studio. So something like replying to the email from the parent, cutting music, doing the choreography, putting out the concert dates or booking things like that. They're reactive tasks, right? Like what else comes up for you when I sort of talk about reactive tasks?
Look, I think, answering a parent text message or calling a parent straight away or answering their message on Facebook because they want you straight away, like that constant, because it's such a high service business. I feel that
Absolutely.
we constantly are bombarded by those parents and sometimes feel like we have to react straight away to them. That's probably the biggest one for me, Amanda.
And I totally agree with that. Whereas proactive tasks, I guess, proactive tasks are something that's actually going to move the needle in your business. It's actually going to make a difference. So a proactive task is, creating a new marketing event, doing new Facebook ads, designing a new program that you're going to do, something that's like proactive to move the needle forward in your business.
Yeah, scheduling your social media posts. Like there's so many things, right? And I
Absolutely.
think like it's just interesting because the one thing that we always hear studio owners say is how busy they are and how
Mm-hmm.
flat out they are. And
Absolutely.
you've got to question how many reactive tasks they're doing and how many proactive, because the proactive are the ones that are going to grow their business.
Absolutely, and that's something I was really chatting to studio owners about this week. Is the reactive tasks? You're always going to find time for those. You don't have a choice. You can't not cut your six and under jazz music. It has to be done, right? You will
Yes.
always find time for that. And I think time's a bit magical sometimes. I think it can shift and change and we can squeeze things in when we need to, and sometimes we just don't have enough time for things. And I don't know, do you find that some way that like the dimensions of time can shift based on how busy you are?
Yes, but I also think I'm someone who will make myself busy. And I think this is most studio owners and business owners is that we feel the need to be busy all the time. So therefore we just are busy and we have to do that. We have to do that. And it's just like you prioritize the wrong things.
Absolutely, and that's what I was kind of saying this week was like you're always going to find time for the reactive tasks. However, if you prioritize them over the proactive tasks, you may not find time for the proactive tasks. You get to the end of the
Exactly.
day and you're like, oops, ran out of time, still didn't, start that new marketing campaign, still didn't do that. Whereas if you flip it and start your day with the proactive tasks, I always think you're going to manage to fill in and get everything done in the day, the proactive and the reactive. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think scheduling your day is a great idea as well. It's like rather than just starting answering the emails or, looking at the inbox, because that's how most of us start. And that just is a downward spiral. Actually
Absolutely.
sitting and saying, okay, what things do I need to do today to move the needle in my business? And how am I going to achieve those things? and write down the times that you're going to do that in. Because you don't look, I know we feel like that parent email is so important, but we're not, a- it's not a doctor's surgery. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much if we answer them at 9 a.m. or 12 p.m. I don't think that's going to make that much of a difference.
No, absolutely not. And obviously, customer service is important. There's
Oh,
no doubt
100%.
about that. But you don't have to be available 24/7. As we said, we're not surgeons, we're not saving the world, we're teaching dance. Yes, there's things that are important, but generally those things can wait. So, what I challenged actually two of our SGC members yesterday was to start every single day with a minimum of an hour, preferably 2 hours, of doing proactive tasks before they check their emails, before they check their Facebooks, anything like that they sit down and the first thing they do is focus on the proactive task before they kind of get sucked into the reactive. I think that's a good way to structure the day, right?
I absolutely love that. And, breaking it down as well, writing down all the proactive tasks that should be happening. Like, what would be your top five proactive tasks? Obviously, I'm going to say social media scheduling because we've
Yeah,
seen a lot of, new clients that we've got coming in and they're just not putting things on their socials. And so people aren't seeing them at all,
yeah.
which is a shame. So I would definitely say that.
Absolutely. Look at our boot camp that we've been running in the last week. We really talked about cold leads emails. And, we chatted about that on the podcast last week. Finding time to schedule, because that's just something that you're like, oh, I should do that. But then it never gets done, right? We've all been guilty of that. I've been
Oh,
guilty of that as well.
100%.
So, cold leads emails, I think that's really important. Setting up a new Facebook ad campaign, if that's something that you're interested in, or learning, because a proactive task could also be investing in your learning. It could be taking a course, doing some research on something, and specifically learning how to move the needle forward in your business. I think they're all great proactive tasks as well.
Yeah, look, those Facebook ads, I know we harp on about it, but they're such a game changer. They're so important to have out there all the time. And it's interesting when you're talking to studio owners and you say, what are you trying to grow? My preschool. Amazing. What ad have you got out at the moment? None. How are you growing your preschool? No one's seeing your preschool stuff if you're not putting money behind it. We talked about this at Expo, Amanda, but we know that Instagram and Facebook are businesses. And the only way that you're going to get everything out of that business is through putting money into their business and then they share it for you. And then that's how people see you. So you've just got to constantly think about how am I seen in my public area? How are people actually knowing what I'm doing? We know you're doing amazing things, but are people seeing it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, putting some time and effort into learning Facebook ads or meta ads or whatever, whatever we're going to call them, that's a great thing to be doing if you're talking about your proactive. Did I list my five? We got distracted. Did I
We
list
got
five?
to
I can't
3.
remember. We got to three. I'm so sorry. I'll keep going. Reaching out to local preschools or community groups to, offer them free classes or do something
Mm.
along those lines. That's a great thing to be proactive. Even things inside our current studio, like I know Bec, tomorrow on our free boot camp, we're talking about ways to upsell classes. And another great thing, and I presume you're talking about it tomorrow, is picking up the phone to our current clients rather than waiting for them to call us with a problem. Picking up the phone and being proactive and upselling that class, or calling that person back that inquired a year ago. They're all really good proactive things that will actually make a difference to your bottom line.
Oh, 100%, like, inviting children to do classes and, like, getting a phone call from the studio owner for most parents would be absolutely incredible. If you made that phone call to 10 of your students and said, "Hey, I've noticed they're doing really well in jazz. Ballet is really going to help them with their jazz technique. I'd love to invite her to do ballet. We think she'd do really well at that." If you did that today, you could potentially add 10 class placements. It's like getting 10 new students because you're getting 10
Absolutely.
kids into those classes. Parents love that stuff. They love it.
Absolutely. And look, I know that every studio owner that's listening to this podcast goes, yeah, of course that would happen if I called all those parents. But so many of them don't. They sit back and they're like, oh yeah, I'll call that parent. Yeah, I will. I'll do that. I'll remember to do. And all of a sudden, a whole nother term's gone past and nothing's been done about it. I think that's so easy to happen sometimes, right?
So easy to happen. Now, Amanda, before you mentioned doing marketing campaigns,
Mm.
and I think
I
this is interesting, like planning a few times a year when you do that marketing campaign.
I am very big on that. I'm a big believer that advertising should be done all the time. Yeah, you should be having ads out all the time. However, you should have a few key marketing events every single year that are real big pushers. They're the big drivers. The other stuff's always going in the background, but those marketing events are the big drivers. Like let's think about in retail, right? In retail, there's always emails going out. There's always little hey, this is 2 for 1, or probably not 2 for 1 in clothing, but this is a 20% off discount code. Hey, here's our latest catalog, things like that. But then they have a couple of big marketing events. Black Friday, yeah. Black Friday is always one of their biggest marketing events of the year. The Boxing Day sales is another one. And depending on the type of company, it might be like a winter sale or a start of winter sale or something like that, depending. And even though they're advertising and still doing marketing pushes all the way through the year, they put so many more eggs in the basket during those big marketing events. And we can do that too as studio owners.
Yes, I love this. I know you were talking to our Studio Growth Club members about this yesterday, and I really do think that what I love about this is we're not just focusing everything in January. I hope that everyone out there now knows that you can get students any time of the year into
Absolutely.
your classes, but it's also just like you said, putting all the eggs in the basket. Now, when we see our members get really, really great results, it's because they do everything. And we did a little checklist for them yesterday that ticked off, okay, yes, you're doing your Facebook ads, but say it's a preschool, for example. Are you dropping the flyers to the preschool? Are you offering a free class at the preschool? Are you maybe doing a shopping center promo? Are you putting stuff around in and around your local area? Are you posting on the local mums groups? Are you tagging clients so that their photos are seen on Instagram and socials so that the parents share it? How many things are you doing? Because so many times, Amanda, we see someone say, oh, I'm trying to grow the program. I put a post out on Facebook and an email out, and that's
Yeah.
it.
And it's not enough,
It's not
unfortunately.
enough.
It's just not enough. So it's really about doing all the things, especially for those marketing events. So if you're looking for a proactive task to do, it could be planning your yearly calendar and planning those events, because that's where we see a lot of studio owners sort of fall down, as they're like, oh, I just had 5 minutes, so I threw a post up about it. Rather than going, hey, what can I plan? How can I plan to do all the things and release this new program, really push whatever it is for you, but do it really, really well, including all the things. So spending your proactive time doing that would be so valuable.
Absolutely. Interesting. Totally. Not well, it's not off topic, but interesting self-reflection on exactly this for me yesterday, Amanda. So, I've got my team in charge of doing the marketing stuff now, and my circus teachers have said developing a new adult class for circus, and it was supposed to start yesterday. Now, we talked to the team about it a couple of weeks ago. They put a couple of social media posts up. I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot about it. We put an email out. So, one email, I think probably two social media posts, right?
Not enough.
Two people turned up to the
Yeah.
class. And I knew yesterday when I said to them, what have we done for this? And they told me that it was going to be dismal. So that's okay. Live and learn. So, what we're
Yeah.
doing in 3 weeks' time is we're having a launch of the program. We're doing it on a Friday night. We're going to have a pizza. What are those pizza vans that come to your
Oh,
parties and stuff?
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have a pizza van come, we're gonna have a glass of champagne after the class. They're gonna mingle with myself and the circus teachers, and they get to come and do a class. Now that's a great way to launch a program. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Make it a party. Make it a launch party. Make it a VIP launch party. So fun.
Exactly. But talking about being proactive, so now we've scheduled in how many posts are we doing? When are those posts going to be? How many emails are we sending out to parents? We're also making flyers for every child who does circus saying, hey, jealous of what your kids are doing in circus? Why not come along and try it for free on this Friday and have pizza and drinks for this after and meet some new people? So it's like we're doing invitations. So now, watch this space, but I feel like this is going to be huge now because we've put the
Mm,
work and effort into it. And that's the thing. Like,
absolutely.
if you want things to be an event, if you want to push something new or even just push something in your studio, you've got to do everything, right?
Absolutely. All the things. Our members keep laughing at us because we keep saying all the things, but that's totally it, right? You've got to
Yep.
do all the things to make it work. And I love hearing about that because, like, we all have business fails, right? You
Yep.
know, your circus class last night, it's fine, but it's how you fix it and what you do next and how you change it that really, defines what kind of business owner you're going to be.
Imagine though if I just was doing the reactive tasks all day yesterday. Imagine if I was just answering the emails and the messages and and doing all of that and just being reactive. I wouldn't have put the time into then planning that event and I wouldn't have the success. And that's what we're saying to you guys. Like it would have been easy for me to not do that. It would have been easy for me to, answer and answer the parents. And I had a lot of messages from parents because I'm taking solos,
Yes.
and a lot of my soloists are doing stuff at the moment. And I probably had about 6 messages saying, "Can you please send the solo music to me? Can you send the solo music?" Which I haven't cut yet. I could have spent the day doing that, Amanda, but I didn't. I really took the time to be proactive about growing that program. And that's what we're trying to say to you guys out there. Are you being proactive or are you doing the reactive, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, if you're listening to this, we would love to challenge you. We would love to challenge you to spend at least the first hour of your working day, every single day, doing something proactive for your business rather than reactive. So, when you get in, make sure your email isn't open. Make sure your Slack channels aren't open. Make sure that Facebook tab, oh my God, that Facebook tab, close the Facebook. Close the Facebook Messenger. I know, it's like that, isn't it? It's like, oh my
It's so
God,
addictive.
it
So
is, right?
addictive. Yeah.
But starting the day by doing something proactive. The other thing I said to a couple of our SGC members that you might find interesting, Bec, because I know sometimes what it's like as a creative. We all get a bit like, oh, what am I doing? Where's my head at? I'm not in the right headspace today. I don't have any inspiration to do anything proactive. And so what I suggested to one of them was to actually write a list of proactive tasks I should be doing when I'm not sure what I should be doing.
Oh, I love it.
I actually always have one for my receptionist,
Yes,
our
we
front
have it
desk
too.
person. Yeah,
Yes,
things to
it's
do when
it's
you think there's nothing to do.
it's stuck on our front desk. Exactly.
And it's probably things like, take the bins out, recheck stock levels or refold things or, things like that for admin stuff, right?
Yep.
But for you, what are the proactive things that you could always be doing? You could send another email to those cold leads. There's no such thing as too many emails. So, to cold leads, like there's no problem with sending one once a week. So if you're like, I haven't done anything, what am I going to do? That's the great thing to do. What else could it be? It's making sure your socials are scheduled and a social for, at minimum 3 times a week for the next month, all scheduled and all up to date. What about stories? There's so many things to do that I think if you're ever like lacking inspiration, creating that like go-to list can be really like, it can help you get you on the right track.
Yeah. Picking up the phone and talking to clients, like we said, and adding classes on. It's interesting. One of the studio owners that I had a one on one with this week said to me, Becca, I feel like I'm just always hustling. And I said, good.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's what a studio owner should be doing. If you're
That's what
feeling like
any
that,
business owner should be doing.
100%. The more you hustle, the more you do that stuff, the more you're going to get more students, more class placements and make more money. And that's what we want for you. You're doing a great job. We know you're doing great things for kids, but you deserve to make money for those things, but you've got to hustle to do it.
Absolutely. Hey, maybe we should leave you with this, that business isn't an end journey. There's no finish line. You don't
I love
get to
that.
the end and go, hey, I've got it under control. There is nothing more to do in my business. I am done. Never going to happen. You have to
No.
keep working, you have to keep learning, you have to keep creating new things, which sometimes means keep hustling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we want you guys to really think about this today. So, proactive versus reactive during your day, ask yourself as you're working, is this a proactive task or is this a reactive task? The first step to this is being self-aware, and just try and change it up, guys, because that will really change how you do your business.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on the Dance Principals United podcast. If you're going to do this challenge, let us know. Drop us an Instagram DM. We love to hear from you. And we can't wait to speak to you again next week. Be back in your ear holes. I don't even know what it's meant to be. Thanks, guys. Bye, Beck.
Thanks, guys. Bye.